Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day, and hope you're having a great Thanksgiving as well. This will be the last video of the day. I don't want to be posting too many videos for you all because obviously you guys need to get time with your family, and I need to get time with myself. So, without further ado, I will be doing this last video. Now, it seems that, that Louisville mass shooter thing that happened now a few months ago, or a couple months ago, well, we have some more news on it, and it seems that, he wanted to massacre upper-class white people. What's that sounding very familiar to? Something like the Covington, case that's been going on, that happened with the trans shooter? That sounds very similar. Oh, there's more, because it's also due to the lax gun laws, and he was also mentally unstable. You're gonna go view the report here, and I will read some more afterwards. Take a look.
Police closed their investigation into the mass shooting at Old National Bank in April and released the details we have been waiting to see. Hello, everybody. It's our top story. I'm Doug Proffitt. We have the motive stated by the gunman himself, but first, new tonight, the families are out with a statement about Connor Sturgeon's actions that day. They're saying on behalf of survivors and families, attorneys say in part, the release of the police report on the Old National Bank mass shooting is an important step for those personally impacted by the tragedy as well as for the community. The statement goes on to say, our hearts are with our clients this week as they process this painful report, while many of them have an empty seat at their Thanksgiving table, or they reflect on the deep trauma they have experienced this year. End quote. Now we want to get to the evidence for you in that file and the motive given by the shooter himself. WHS 11 Night Team's Taylor Woods is here. And Taylor, police discovered that he had a plan, but that it came together in just a matter of days, not weeks.
Doug, investigators say Connor Sturgeon, he actually planned and executed the shooting within 1 week. This 64-page report includes writings that show how he planned the shooting and why. One family friend of a victim tells me there needs to be a mental health assessment before people buy rifles.
Body camera video shows Louisville Metro Police officers Nicholas Wilt and Corey Galloway arriving to Old National Bank April 10th. Tuesday afternoon, LMPD released a 64-page report detailing personal notes and letters that 25-year-old bank employee Connor Sturgeon wrote to family and friends days before the shooting. The evidence file includes this selfie taken by Sturgeon 5 days before the shooting, portraying the Joker face that's popular on social media. Sturgeon described how easy it was for him to buy an AR-15, 4 magazines, and 120 rounds of ammunition for $700. That receipt from River City Firearms is seen here.
I mean, not only his note, it's proven every day through the mass shootings which happen across the country that how easy it is to buy an assault weapon.
Police say he fired a total of 40 rounds that day. Sturgeon called himself a psycho, telling his parents to fight lawmakers on lax gun laws, asking for them to stop the sale of weapons of mass destruction.
Please do something.
Dr. Muhammad Babar has been pleading for an end to gun violence. He's also a friend of the Elliott family. Bank Vice President Tommy Elliott killed in the shooting. He feels there should be a mental health assessment before people buy guns.
How long the waiting period should be, there should be some background checks, mental health checkup.
Detectives retrieved Connor Sturgeon's Instagram stories just hours before the shooting on April 10th. Sturgeon even wrote, quote, "These people did not deserve to die, but because I was depressed and able to buy a gun, they're gone." Still, Bobber says there needs to be immediate action to end gun violence, and a mental health checkup could show if someone is mentally healthy for a weapon.
To see that if there is somebody who is on the edge to break down and do something which will not only harm everybody else around them, but it will also harm them and hurt their loved ones too.
Sturgeon's family took him to emergency therapy days before the shooting. He was on various mental health medications. Sturgeon wrote in large caps, "I am sorry, I can't take it anymore." In the end, Sturgeon said he had two goals: kill himself and stop gun violence, to send a message to politicians.
And a group of survivors and victims' families are planning to sue the gun manufacturer, Radical Firearms of Texas. They say the goal is to prevent weapons like the one used in this shooting from being in the hands of people mentally unable to handle them. In a statement tonight, attorneys say they're reviewing this report as they move forward with preparing to file that lawsuit.
Taylor, thank you very much.
Yes, so he definitely had a problem with the gun laws and all that stuff. And one of the big things that I've seen so far with a lot of the far left is saying, oh, well, you need a mental health check. Well, we already have something like that. And we need a background check, which is, again, we already have something like that. The problem is, maybe we need a more thorough one. Or perhaps we need the psychiatrist or what have you to do their bloody job. Because I know of one of the Ader shootings that actually happened was because the therapist decided to not tell the police or anybody about his mental health problems, or stop it, and he was able to go grab a gun and do all this stuff and commit a mass murder in the theater because the therapist dropped the ball. That person should have also been arrested, and the same person should be arrested for this very same case for not doing so. It's insane. And the far left, the liberal media, MSNBC, CNN, Joe Biden, all the far left activist people, insane maniacs, are the ones that are pushing these people to do this insane stuff that fit the liberal agenda, the far left agenda. And if you guys want more of the actual thing, because I didn't talk too much about the upper white or class stuff, we have this here. Louisville banker shooter wanted to massacre upper-class white people to highlight last gun laws. The man who killed 5 people at Louisville, Kentucky bank in April was motivated by his outrage over the nation's gun laws, which he considered lax, and hoped a bloody rampage of white victims would spur politicians into action, according to a police report released Tuesday that contained excerpts from the killer's journal. Connor Sturgeon, 25, gunned down co-workers inside a conference room at an Old National Bank on East Main Street on April 10th after he admitted in his journal that he was suffering from mental health issues, was dissatisfied with his job and the direction his life was taking. So yes, he already had a huge amount of problems, and this face also shows that he is quite clearly not well in the brain. Yeah, that's what's going on. And we have a lot to blame here. The liberal media is the one that's been doing this. The liberal media has been causing, over and over again, constant death, mayhem, threats, riots, and all this other stuff that's been happening in our country. They already now have 2 people at the very least that has talked about white people and wanting to kill them. So I really want to know where this white privilege is going, where we think this is a A-okay thing to do, and when are we going to start taking to the liberal media and saying, okay, you're actively causing destruction, you're actively causing activism to be caused by other people because you are radicalizing people, you are causing death, you are not helping, and when are these people going to be sued into oblivion for doing this type of stuff? It needs to end. This is not going to get any type of huge news. This is not going to be on a part of any of the liberal media or at all, because this points them in a very bad light. And this is something that is constantly going. You have the liberal media also creating anti-Semitism as well, because they're also praising or going everything with the riots and stuff. So they are the crux of what's happening with our kids or these younger generation of people. They're creating mental illness, they're creating whack jobs, and something needs to be done about it. We need to stop the liberal media from doing this, because they're at the hands of this. They have death on their hands, and that's all I could possibly say for these people. It's insanity that this is going on, and it needs to end. Again, there needs to be repercussions, because they're creating so much death, so much pain, so much fear, that it's time for them to be held accountable. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care and have a great Thanksgiving. See you later, friends.
I'm disgusted. by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.